Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Alfred Hitchcock Presents review. Today it is Season 1, Episode 29, The Orderly World of Mr. Appleby, starring Robert Harris as Lawrence Appleby and Meg Mundy as Martha Sturgis. And this is a perfectly acceptable, entertaining episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, but I do have to say it's one of those episodes where you kind of just have to go with it, as some of the character motivations, especially in the second half of the episode, seem to be just a little bit maybe far-fetched or unbelievable. But this is a solid episode and entertaining throughout. So we start in a shop where a man, our main character, Mr. Appleby, he sells antiques and things like that, and we see a customer, our other main character, a Martha Sturgis, and she wants to buy some things, and it doesn't seem like Appleby really wants to sell her anything that's really very nice or anything of value. So he seems really attached to this stuff in a strange way. And then a Mr. Desire comes in, and it turns out that Appleby owes him and his father money for certain things. And he says that he just can't sell these things because nobody wants to buy them, but we know this isn't true. And at this point, the woman that was in the store, Martha, she breaks something by accident. So Appleby goes out to see what's going on, basically. And this guy is really crushed over this piece that breaks. You can see he's really, really attached to each and every item in this shop. So Martha apologizes. She says she'll pay for it, so she does. And it turns out that Mr. Desire takes the money, and he tells Appleby, you basically have 2 weeks to come up with the rest of the money that you owe. So now Appleby has a dilemma. So we go home, and Appleby's with his wife, and they argue. And to be fair, she's probably as annoying as he is, I would say. And he asks her for money. It turns out she has some money, but she yells at him and tells him no way, that he has a lot of nerve, things like this. So being Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Appleby comes up with a plan to eliminate her. And we know plans don't always work on this show, but this one actually does. He pulls a rug out from under her. It's an idea he got from a book, and it works. She's passed away. She's a goner. She slips and falls. So we go to the next scene with Desire and Appleby has paid off his debt. But it turns out there's some other pieces he'd like, and he doesn't really have the money for them. So he decides he remembers this lady, Martha, from the beginning of the episode, and he brings her a gift, one of the pieces that she liked, and she's reluctant to accept it. Martha says, let me pay for it. So Mr. Appleby at this point knows she has a lot of money, and he basically pretends to be interested in her. He never really gives indication that he really is. So this guy's getting worse by the minute, ethically here, I would say. So we go to the next scene, and out of nowhere, Mr. Appleby just asks Miss Sturgis, Martha, to marry him. Now, I'm not sure how long they've really known each other, how much time has passed, but this comes really out of the blue and seems kind of unbelievable. I would say she would suspect something, and she probably does, as we'll find out later on. So she's very reluctant, but he convinces her. She says, okay, we can do this, but we have to see my lawyer first. He will be important to this whole thing in the second half of the episode. So basically the lawyer and Appleby talk at this point, and he says, Miss Sturgis, Martha, she wants to wait a month, but if you court her right and everything, you should be able to get married. He's just doing some background check, which is normal. And there's one last thing that Appleby finds out. He will have to live in Martha's place. And you can tell that Appleby really doesn't want to do this, but he's desperate for money, so he'll just have to live with Martha in her place, and he'll have to have his shop on the side, and as we'll find out, this won't work out too well. So Appleby and Martha talk, and it turns out Appleby needs money again. This guy still must not be selling any merchandise. I have no idea what this guy's doing in his shop, that he never makes any money. But Martha says, who cares? You're better off being at home. She doesn't seem too worried about it, and doesn't really want to give her any money. And when Appleby sees her standing on a rug, he starts getting an idea to do away with her the same way that he did with his first wife. I guess Appleby never learns. What can I say? To be fair, it did work the first time, but as we'll find out, probably not a good idea to try the same thing twice. So we get another scene where Appleby's really mad. It's basically a rehash of the last scene, but Appleby's more desperate. He says he needs the money really, really badly. He's also upset about this cat that Martha brought home, as he doesn't like them. He says they make a mess. But Martha basically tells him she's not giving him any money because she'd rather have him at home. He'll just have to give up the shop. So at this point, Appleby pretty much snaps even more, and he sets up a rug the same way he did in his first wife. But when he tries to pull the same thing with Martha, it doesn't work. It appears that she stepped out of the way. She says she knows everything that he did with his first wife because she found the book, and she just needed proof of it. She didn't want to believe it, but now she knows exactly what he did. So, and here's where the unbelievability part comes in. She says she thought about kicking him out, but he'll just do this to another woman. And she says she's protecting all the women and she wants him to stay there. Now, I know she's got something on him, but in this guy's state of mind, couldn't he still try something? That doesn't seem like a very safe plan on her end of things. I thought that was a little bit questionable, but I guess you just got to go with it. So she tells him he has to give up the shop and spend all the rest of his days with her. And she says basically the lawyer's going to call her every night, and if anything happens to me, the letter I have on you, the proof, will go out. So Appleby really at this point figures he has no choice, so the lawyer does call, and when he's ready to give Martha the phone, she accidentally trips and falls, and so she actually does pass away, and Appleby didn't even do it. But as the lawyer says, I think his time is up. So Appleby, it's one of those justice type situations where he basically gets what's coming to him. Overall, this is a solid, entertaining episode, if a little bit unbelievable in places. And I give The Orderly World of Mr. Appleby a 3 out of 5. So a solid, entertaining episode to watch at least once. So a 3 out of 5 for The Orderly World of Mr. Appleby. And as always, thank you very much for watching.